views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of Phi Labs or the Archway Protocol. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Archway podcast. I'm your host, Valeria Salazar, joined by co-host Max McHenry.
Happy to be back on the show.
Yep, let's dive right in. So today up first in proposals, we've got Secret Network Proposal 398, which is currently passing. It is a signaling proposal reminding the foundation to transfer their assets to a third party that will be determined by governance. I guess it's just a reminder from Secret Labs to make sure that this does take place and they still intend to have this take place, even though it hasn't happened yet.
And next up, we had Cosmos Hub Prop 790. This is just a temperature check on the Cosmos Hub community to see if they'd be open to the liquid staking module. So this lays out basically what the liquid staking module is, and it will discuss what will be replaced in the current module, which is the staking, distribution, and slashing modules. So those need to be adjusted to account for the liquid staking. But once that's done, they'll be able to directly liquid stake on the hub, reducing a lot of the risks involved with the current setup.
Yep, they've added a few parameters to actually make sure that the risks posed by liquid staking don't affect the Cosmos Hub or any of the other chains that will be taking advantage of the LSM. So up next, we have Cosmos Hub Proposals 791 and 793, which has to do with All in Bits, the core team behind the Cosmos Hub, suing a community member called Grace U. So they're suing Grace U on grounds that many believe to be unsubstantiated, but that really isn't the issue. So it looks like All in Bits is using funds that were supposed to be allocated to the development and infrastructure of the hub to take this lawsuit into courts. So the first one, 791, is proposing to use community funds to defend Grace, and that is not passing. And 793 is a signaling proposal to ask All in Bits to drop the proposal. So there's a lot of concerns in terms of, how this could affect the token price, the confidence in the Cosmos Hub, and how this really could affect, the decentralization and the just the general community and environment of the Cosmos Hub. But yeah, it's looking like the community is really urging All in Bits to drop the lawsuit, but unfortunately, they have not commented yet. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and it appears 793 is actually just a request to drop the suit, and that's it. There's no actual actionable things to do on the hub with that prop. It's strictly just asking for the suit to be dropped. So hopefully, if that suit is dropped, then 791 no longer needs to be up for vote anyway, as there would be no legal defense needed. But that kind of brings us to Prop 792, which happened in between those two propositions. And this one was related to the launch of Neutron. So Neutron will be the first consumer chain launched on the hub, and it'll be utilizing replicated security. So this will be a huge milestone for the hub, and a really cool thing to see after kind of hearing about replicated security and interchain security over the last year or so. So congrats to the Neutron team and congrats to the hub on getting this implemented. And following that, we have news from Osmosis. So Osmosis recently passed 3 separate props. All 3 of them are meant to help fix the tokenomics and return value back to the holders of the Osmo token. So there was Prop 484, 85, and 86. 84 focused on reducing emissions by 50% and doubling the time between the thirdnings. This will slightly decrease the maximum supply down to 980 million. And this should increase the APR received by stakers. And then Proposal 485 aims to incentivize staking by adjusting the Osmo distribution ratio, increasing more of it going to the stakers rather than the LP providers, leaving stakers now with a positive yield, which is something that was talked about quite a bit on our show about a few weeks ago. And then finally, there's Prop 486, which is the superfluid staking adjustment, which they are moving to 75% of Osmo can be used in superfluid staking, which is a change from 50% prior to this proposition. So we'll have to see how these props go, but they all seem to be in the interest of improving the tokenomics and improving value for shareholders. So I imagine most of these will pass.
Yeah, absolutely. Up next, we have the Interchain Academy, which is reopening its virtual doors to a cohort of 300 slots. Applications are open until May 8th, and it will be a 7-week online program for developers. They will learn about blockchain technology, the interchain stack, the Cosmos ecosystem, and more. And the program will run from May 18th to August 4th. So if you're interested in learning that, if you're a developer that is looking to get into the Cosmos ecosystem, go sign up. It's a wonderful program, and I'm really excited to see it open its doors again.
Yeah, and also this week we have consensus chats going on at Consensus, the event happening this week in blockchain down in Austin, Texas. And I know there'll be one big conversation where Sunny will be debating a few different people in the ecosystem and just general Web3 space on the interchain and just blockchain ecosystems in general. So this will be a really cool, interesting way to hear what the thought leaders are thinking and how they view the space. So looking forward to this chat.
Yep, absolutely. And going back to tokenomics, Stargaze is also looking to improve their current tokenomics structure. They've announced a revamp of their tokenomics, which they're going to be dividing into 4 proposals. So the goal is to lower inflation and increase their net staking yield. So the first proposal suggests lowering inflation from 33% to 11%. And it's supposed to reduce the allocation to the community pool. Proposal number 2 is proposing to leverage the current community pool funding to support planned incentives without increasing sale pressure. And proposal number 3 wants to extend the thirdening period by 3 years. Finally, proposal number 4 is proposing to modify emission allocations across categories as needed, just to allow for more flexibility in addressing the general needs of projects in Stargaze. So you can go check this debate out on the Commonwealth, on the Stargaze Commonwealth, and hopefully we'll see improved tokenomics soon across the board. So very excited about that.
Yeah, this seems very similar to what Osmosis is addressing as well, and it appears they're actually using similar strategies to fix their problem. So I love to see this. I know we've talked about it previously on the show, just about in general needing to improve the economic structures of a lot of these projects. And it's nice to see teams doing it. Better late than never.
Absolutely. Finally, last bit of news is something coming from outside of the Cosmos. So it looks like the tables are turning. So Coinbase is suing the SEC, demanding regulatory clarity and saying that they've been exerting jurisdiction over rules that have not been properly laid out. So I'm quite excited actually to see the turnaround on this, just because the SEC has been quite severely pursuing blockchain projects, and to have them kind of like clap back and just say that we can't follow rules if you don't properly implement them or state them, it's a very valid case. Will probably prove fruitful for the ecosystem, and it follows the attacks on Gensler in the last couple of weeks with the SEC hearings. So hopefully, this will be a positive for the space, and props to Coinbase for, taking one for the team and really just, asking for clarity once and for all blockchain projects. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, Coinbase is definitely stepping up for the entire space. And I think that they're the right people to do it. I think they're, one, financially resourced, and they have the people behind them to actually fight this fight. And overall, I think someone needed to step in and really draw the line in the sand with the SEC, and Coinbase is probably the right person. So happy to see him do it.
Absolutely. And that concludes this week's roundup of news. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next time.
The views